Okay, who here has not been to the Fringe Festival? Okay, this year, save the dates, the 16th through the 26th. This will be our 11th year. We launched the summer of 2005, 150 performances at 15 venues in 3 days. This will be year 11. We'll have more than 480 performances at 21 venues in 11 days. We've grown every single year from year one. We're founded on the principles of the Edinburgh Fringe, which erupted spontaneously in Edinburgh in 1947, Edinburgh, Scotland. Fringe festivals are established to provide an opportunity for artists to showcase their works and performances in a setting unconstrained by censorship, judgment, or the status quo. Fringe festivals provide platforms for artists of all origins and disciplines to collaborate and share their art with each other and with the local community.
So I'm going to talk about how Kansas City Fringe matches up against the rest of the fringes in the United States. Kansas City Fringe mission is to support artists, celebrate expression, and engage community. We celebrate artists' freedom of speech and expression. So each fringe around the United States has its own way of doing their festival. Some of them are performance festivals only, and others, like Kansas City, we have many genres from film, visual art, youth, teen, fashion, and then any performance genre that the artists want to put out there. We, as Kansas City Fringe Festival, have a very large footprint for a festival also. We have venue Arts Asylum up northeast all the way down to the Plaza Library and everywhere in between, Crossroads of Midtown, etc. People come from all over the region and the nation to see the Fringe Festival. We have one international artist from India this year. We have 15 national groups from New York to California to Florida to Alaska. And last year we had ticket sales to 26 26 state cardholders. Help me here.
26 cardholders from 26
different states and Canada as well. Spit that out. And each year we get more and more national and international groups.
And I want to add to that, our international, we're working with the U.S. Association of Fringe Festivals. The visa requirements for international artists are astronomical, and so we're all working together to try to get more international artists back in the Fringe tour circuit. So for artists, the Fringe is the best deal in town. For a nominal fee, we provide the venue, we provide a tech to run the light and sound, we provide basic light and sound, we provide all the front of house, ticket sales, ushering, house managing, we provide all the bookkeeping and cut all the checks and take care of all the general promotion. In addition, we provide discounts. We seek out discounts for our artists for printing. We provide workshops to help them market and promote their shows. We encourage collaboration among the artists in each of the venues because there are multiple artists in every venue so that they can connect the dots and help each other, and then provide opportunities for them to share resources with each other. Brent?
So how we market the festival, we learn each year and get a little bit better. But we stretch a penny farther than most organizations I know. Majority of our marketing funding is from NTDF, the Neighborhood Tourism Development Fund. And our marketing efforts include print, radio, television appearances, billboard advertising, in addition to all of our social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and e-blasts. Majority of the shows at Fringe are new works, so that's the primary selling point for a lot of this. New works and works that are trying to be taken to the next level and reworked and retooled. So we market the festival. The artists are in charge of marketing themselves. Each year we get a little better on how to help artists promote themselves and learn. We hold artist Q&A sessions. We provide them with a large production manual. It's everything they need to know in one place. And we send out regular emails and reminders with things that they should be doing and need to be doing at the different times. So you could hop onto our social media and help us out by liking our different pages.
Thank you. We experience new learning opportunities every single year. We have new successes every year. We try new things. Some are successful, some aren't. So feedback is key. We survey our audiences, our venues, our artists, our volunteers to find out what works, what doesn't. It's a continual process of modifying and improving and growing. Our greatest challenge has been engaging funders. Because we allow artists freedom of speech, many traditional funders are uncomfortable with that. We forged on and proven that we can and will prevail. Now that KC Rep and the Unicorn and KC Ballet and the Opera are all collaborators with us, we're now starting to get attention of the funders. So, but it's a continual challenge. Recently we had a funder come to us wanting to sponsor us, dangled a $20,000 check in front of us and said, "This is yours if you eliminate some of your adult programming." We will not censor. We will not let funders censor artists' voices. We believe that our artists' voices are our future, and we do not want to squelch that. We want to provide everybody equal opportunity to present their work and their thoughts. So for me and for us, I love nothing more than coming out of a theater realizing that I've grasped something new. I see a new perspective from from someone else's point of view, and I love that. Brent, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. So KC Fringe for some people is just fun, it's just a hobby, but for others they really are trying to take these works to the next level. Some of our success stories. Kyle Hatley, who was at the Rep, has moved. He premiered a show at Fringe a few years ago, and that script got read off Broadway, and I think it got toured around. Heidi Van credits us with her opening of the Fish Tank there by the Performing Arts Center in the Crossroads. We've had a lot of regional tours that have premiered here. Vicky Vaudry, Michelle T. Johnson, Herman Johansson all credit us with the success of their touring and playwriting. And Zach Weaver started when he was 15. He's now 21. A few years ago, he won the National Playwriting Competition, not one, but 2 years in a row. And he really credits us to helping him come through the youth program, the teen program, and helping it with the workshops and all that. So we feel very good about that, and we hope to have more success stories in the near future. Where do we want to be? Where do we want to go in the next 5, 10 years? Just in May, this is our second decade. So in May, we rebranded our 501c3. We are now KC Creates, and we have taken on more components and continue to grow. We are going to do, in the spring, Fringe Presents. That is works that have premiered at Fringe festivals from around the world that are picking up momentum. Of course, Fringe Festival in July each year, which is our flagship. We are working with Theater League on taking over Waterfire. It's a collaboration this year, and we'll take it on next year. It's down here on Brush Creek, that arts installation I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Inspire, Kansas City's corporate art challenge, and Feastival. It is a celebration of food as art. So other goals in the next couple of years, we hope to have paid staff because we can't keep volunteering like this. And we also hope to have our own home so we can produce works throughout the year. Do you have anything else to add?
No. Are there any questions?
Yeah, this will take the time now to open it up to you guys if you want to ask questions.
I'll start off with the first question and with the last. Tell us, how do you get volunteers and keep them motivated year after year and keep them involved?
We have an amazing group of volunteers. Many have been with us since year one, and then more get sucked in every year. It's wonderful. And we are recruiting. So one of the ways you can help us is help us promote volunteerism. we pay volunteers with Fringe bucks, which they can use to redeem for shows. So they, in essence, get to see shows for free, and they can use that, also use their Fringe bucks for merchandise. And we have parties, we thank them and celebrate. We work them hard, and then we play hard. And we're constantly recruiting. As we grow, we have to continually grow our volunteer base. But because we are completely volunteer, that adds a new dimension of challenge. When you don't pay people and you have to depend on their goodwill, it can be challenging because we have a lot of work to do throughout the year. I had to quit my paid job because it was just too demanding. We couldn't get everything done. And Brent has now graduated from college, and he's joined me full time. And we both work 80-hour weeks, and we have many loyal volunteers, our volunteer staff, who volunteer year-round. They all have full-time jobs and do what they can around that. So we divide that up, try to divide and manage it that way. And then each of those volunteer staff then have a team that helps them accomplish that team's goals. So the volunteer management is an ongoing challenge of getting people who will actually follow through and do what they're going to say. Say what they're going to do. I said that backward. Say what they're going to do. Go ahead.
Can you discuss the organizational structure of the organization?
Yes.
Board, membership driven?
We're a nonprofit. We have a governing board. So we started with a worker bee board. All the workers were on the board, and we've recently transitioned that worker board to a governing board, and we're now trying to transition to a fundraising board. We need folks who will bring money to the table and bring money connections to the table. So we have our governing board, then we have our executive team. There are 6 of us on the executive team. So it's not the Cheryl show. We run things democratically. We put ideas out, we all weigh the pros and cons. We've found through the years that anytime one person is making the call, problems can occur. When you have a team working together, that's when you're successful. So then we have our, then the exec team each chairs other committees, and so those committees meet regularly to accomplish their goals. And then we have our core of volunteers for the festival and for our events that are 250 plus, and we need to add at least another 100 to that quickly. Did that answer your question?
Yeah,
okay. I'll let Brent field the next one.
It's going to be a hard one. I can feel it.
Yeah. Actually, 2 questions. One, do you have an app? You had one a couple years ago that was real handy, and I have to admit I didn't go last year. I was busy doing something. And I see the app's gone. Do you have one? It was really handy, though. And when you're out at night, you're going from show to show. For me, it was handy. You don't have one, I see. You're not being able to keep it up.
Well, let me address that. I'll take it back. See? We don't this year. We have a snag with that. But hopefully next year we'll have it back in the mix. Technology is always an ongoing challenge, and with our tight budget,
Right.
funding, because you can only get so much.
Yeah.
And then you've got to pay, and then when you don't have the money to pay,
Yeah.
then that's a problem. There's a gap. So we have a gap right now that we're trying to fill.
Also, one of our biggest feedback from last year actually was that people would like to see our website mobile responsive. So
Yeah.
when with funding from our transition to VML to VMA, Visual Marketing Advantage, our website is now mobile responsive. So on your smartphone browser, if you have
So
a
just
smartphone.
go to that, and you'll find the different shows and lineup and times. Okay, good. Now, one other quick question: how do you decide what goes in? Is it almost everybody, or do you have a selection process, or do you not let some,
So I should have talked about this when I talked about other fringes. So New York Fringe, and there's a couple other fringes in the U.S. that read every single script and they pick. So they are completely juried. There are some festivals who have lotteries. They get several hundred applicants, and they put them in a box and pull them out. We are first come, first serve. We are unjuried, uncensored. So we open applications January 1st each year, and usually mid-March we have the cutoff. We know how many venues we have. Like this year we have 17 performing venues. We could have had a couple more, but we didn't use those because of location and because of the amount of performing groups we had. Yeah.
We've had a wait list for the last 5 years. And by expanding venues this year, we've added more. So last year, we had 409 performances. This year, adding new venues, we've jumped up to more than 480 performances. So yeah, it's a little mind-boggling. But yes, it's first come, first serve, and we have a wait list, and there's folks that fall out, and we have folks that roll into that. And so this year we've been able to accommodate for the first time in 5-6 years everybody who wanted to be in the Fringe.
We have a question over here.
Anyway, I want to say I'm so glad you don't censor anything. That's so important right now. And, well, it just is. Every idea needs to be heard. Anyway, I was wondering, what kind of jobs do you have during the Fringe Festival that you need volunteers for? I mean, I'm sure there's a bazillion, but...
The primary jobs or volunteer positions we need filled are at the venues. Because we have 480 performances, some of those performances need 3 people, some of them only need 2. But we have ticketing box office, which is on an iPad, and we have ushers who take tickets at the door and scan with a smartphone. And we have house managers who give the pre-show announcements and just make sure that the venues run well. Also, none of those float your boat. Then we have runners. If you have a vehicle, we always have things around the office at Union Station. All of our hub is there, 411, visual arts, and all that stuff. We have gallery guides, button makers, counters. I mean, really anything. But the main 3 that we need help with are the usher, ticketing, and house managing. Good question.
And you get to choose your schedule. So we have a wonderful program that we use, and you go online and you see what all the schedules are open, and you self-select what and where you volunteer, which is nice. We don't assign you unless you say, put me wherever I'm needed. And we have volunteer trainings, and those are on your seats. So check out the volunteer training times.
Next week.
Yes. Other questions? Paul.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Or I'll ask, describe the nominal fee and some of the financial considerations between the festival, the artists, the what's the selling point to your performance venues, those types of.
So with the application, when they fill the application out, they have a few different choices. Our entry fees are from $350 to $700. So we accept like 5 90-minute shows. If you have 6 90-minute performances, it'd be $700 in a large venue. So we have the amount of performances, we have the size of the venue, and we have length of the show.
Scale, scope, and length.
Yep, exactly. So I mean, for $500, you get 5 60-minute performances in a large venue over a certain amount of time. We do the festival marketing. You'll of course have printing costs. We get a deal with Service Graphics and Printing that we send all of our artists to. They get a great deal. So if you print a lot, you're looking at around $100, and then your own marketing outside of that, and then whatever props and things you need. So I mean, if you're renting a large venue in town for a weekend, you're not going to get that for even close to $500. $350 for 3 performances in a small venue. Did that answer your question?
Well, I was looking more about how you get buy-in from the theaters to how's the I mean, people, the artists funnel in their application, and that all goes into a pool, and then it all they get put into different theaters, and then how do the artists get money back? Does the house get money?
So I'll answer the venue question first. With the venues, we've gotten lucky. We started the first year, I don't think we had a real performance venue, a theater space. We were in warehouses, so we had to take in all of our own equipment. We had to rent stuff. Very sticky. Now we're in, I think we only need to take like some sound into one of our venues. So we're in established venues. And that's because theaters are dark in July, and that they get 30% of the ticket sales. So some of the venues are doing very well. They're making more money from Fringe than their normal rental fee is. Some venues are not making anywhere close to as much as they would if they would be renting the venue out. And really, that's just the relationships we've built. People want the exposure. They want their doors open during that time. So we've gotten lucky in that regard. With the ticket breakdown, the venue get 30%. The artists get 60, and we take 10. We want to get that back up to 70 because we're still not quite covering our hard costs. What was your second question?
That was really
Okay.
And of course, I'll add to that because the venues love the traffic. I remember the first year we used the Unicorn. I was standing talking to Cynthia, and someone in the line was visiting, and she said, "Wow, I didn't realize this was a theater. I thought this was a bar." So we're getting new people in venues, and they're discovering new spaces, and the venues are getting that, and they're promoting their seasons and helping grow their audiences for their regular season. Everything that we've done, we try to make it a win-win across the board for everybody. We're bringing people into their spaces. They're providing space for us. We do all the work. They are providing the space. And we try to be very careful about not imposing on their staff. And we tell our artists, you cannot contact the venue. We are your point person. Do not jeopardize our relationship with our venues because they don't have time to deal with you and all your questions. We have that space. Talk to us. Okay. Paul first.
Pondering your funding challenge and the difficulty you've had getting the big institutional funders to climb on board. And I'm wondering have you ever looked at the possibility of some kind of an annual crowdfunding campaign? Because, we've already had one person in the audience talk about the importance of giving artists this uncensored voice. And I do think there are a lot of people who will be supportive of that. And some of us do have a little bit of money and would be willing to, as opposed to time, would be willing to make financial contributions. So I realize there's some challenges involved in crowdfunding, but I was wondering if you've ever really explored it.
We haven't, but our new development director has that on his plate.
I have to learn how to manage this one first. We've done an end of year. We did an end of year ask, and we have our donate links, of course, on our website and through our. We use Salsa Labs for marketing and social media and that stuff.
Have any of the other Fringe festivals successfully done crowdfunding? Have you asked that question?
Yeah, a few have, definitely.
Something about the ability to tie perks into the contributions and some of the things that you could offer might be really valuable to people.
We did Billabong a few years ago too, and that really burned some people out, and we had some turnover on our board and stuff. But we're looking at doing a model similar to that, if not that same model.
Now, Brett and Cheryl will be available at the end of our event for more questions. And I just wanted to ask them our last question, which is what can we as a community do to help you?
Of course. Come to the festival, share news about the festival with all your friends and family and neighbors. With our limited budget, we can only do so much, and people, for every day I run into people, the Fringe, what is that? Help us spread that word. Also help us get volunteers. We need, and that's where our audience also grows. Once people come in and experience the festival and see, wow, what all is available and the quality of the work, there's full spread from novices to seasoned professionals that are participating in the festival, and there's some amazing works there. Then they get bit by the Fringe bug, and they're on board, and they're there all the time. So help us spread the word. If you want the volunteer flyer in a digital format, give us your card. We'll email you that, and you can share with family, friends, post it at work. Those are the best ways to help us. Brent, anything to add?
Social media, you can always help by liking us, sharing, posting about the festival. Our visual arts gallery opens in 10 days on the 12th at Union Station. And then our teaser night, which has about 80 performing groups doing 2.5-minute teasers, is July 16th. It's a Thursday evening at the Heartland Forum in Crown Center. Our avid fringers sit there with their program, and they circle shows or cross shows out, and that's how they know what 40 performances to go to during the festival.
Yeah.
So come to that and invite people to that.
And on that note, I wanted to add, we'll have Molly Hammer here in 2 weeks from this Thursday, and she's presenting at the Fringe. Her act is called Proud, and she'll tell you more about that act and some of her other business ventures that she's getting into as a Broadway and jazz singer.
Thank you, guys.